Welcome into Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. Another day, another dollar. Welcome into the show. Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. Today is Friday, August 14th, 2020. Feel like a kid in a candy store. As tomorrow, we go live finally on our Major League Baseball season. It's not going to be a long one. You're talking about maybe a month and a half in baseball. But then again, by that second week of September, third week of September, we will be rocking and rolling in the NFL all the way through to the Super Bowl. As you guys know, we don't really do too much, but maybe some content in college football. But outside of that, we'll just be rocking and rolling in the NFL and having some fun in Major League Baseball. I can't wait. I'm excited for tomorrow. So, guys, welcome in. If you're new to watching the show, please feel free to hit that subscribe button below, turn the notification bell on, because keep in mind also, not only with the show in the morning that I do here on Sports Betting with Donnie, 11 a.m. Eastern time, you will get all those free plays and breakdown videos directly sent to your in-mail box. And also the good part about that, too, with the emails, getting the inboxes, you know, they're not going to be long videos. You're not going to be inundated with just random nonsense or me going live and yelling about like the Pittsburgh Pirates or something like that. They're going to be edited videos, Major League Baseball, NFL, tips, points that you need to know. Again, designed to make you a lot more money than what you currently would have. Hopefully, that's the goal there. But again, tomorrow, Sports Betting with Donnie, we get it underway, rightwager.com, kicking it for real, finally. 5 months. Been 5 months. 5 months since I had my last play on the website there. So we're ready to go, and I'm excited to do it. Taylor, welcome in. AJM, welcome in. Ron Fig, welcome in. Yeah, sorry, afternoon to those in Philadelphia. Not quite yet. It's 11 a.m., but we do have some Flyers hockey today at 3 p.m. Game 2, Flyers, Montreal Canadiens. Looking forward to that as well. Got a packed day. Obviously doing the show now. Take that 1 hour, 1 hour and a half break, get some lunch, and also study up for my Major League Baseball show at 1:30 p.m. on sportsbookreview.com. And then got to shoot a video for Pub Sports Radio in the afternoon. Then I got to do some NFL stuff because we are returning back to NFL content on sportsbookreview.com. I'm going to start shooting some divisional breakdown videos, even though we don't see anything on the football field. Like, I'm a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. It's August 14th. We haven't heard a peep other than Doug Peterson got COVID. Now he doesn't have COVID, but we don't see anything yet. Anything whatsoever of any highlights. A couple dudes in shorts. You're watching Hard Knocks, and all they're talking about is staying 6 feet apart and having walkthroughs where you can't run around. So it hasn't been all that interesting here. Chip Piler's in there. What's good? Emza, what's good, my friend here? Why don't we waste no more time? Look, we got to set it. We had a huge baseball card today, and there's a lot of things that I do want to talk about, which happened yesterday on the Diamond. So let's wait no further. Let's get these hot topics in here right now. These are your Sports Betting with Donnie hot topics of the day.
You knew this team would be good. We knew the Dodgers would be really good. You knew getting Mookie Betts, and the only reason why the baseball season would be canceled, it would have been kind of interesting to see Mookie Betts get traded for, somewhat of a king's ransom over from the Boston Red Sox, and then he doesn't play a game and is automatically a free agent next year. But you knew he wasn't going to be able to escape Los Angeles. Tons of money, great organization, endless bankroll, and they signed Mookie Betts. Starts out a little bit slow, but we know Mookie Betts, right? 3 home runs last night. 3 blasts from Mookie Betts. I mean, is there anything that guy doesn't actually do, man? Goodness gracious, man. Is there anything that Mookie Betts doesn't do well? And is there anything that lineup doesn't do well? And being from a handicapping perspective, I always go back to some people just take the Los Angeles Dodgers nightly on the run line. And can you blame them? You get really good starting pitching. You get really unbelievable. Your batters, and you can even do the stuff that makes it hard. Like, some teams are just really good and talented, but maybe they're stacked with right-handed bats in the middle of the lineup, like 3 through 7. They go lefty, righty, right down the lineup, big-time players. And I coined the phrase, I wanted known that I coined the phrase team launch angle for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And they hit you quick. And yesterday, getting some of the play, I don't have my notebook in front of me, but I remember most of the plays I had from the show yesterday on the 5-pack. Finally got a nice win yesterday and a no doubt about her. I took the Tampa Bay Rays team total as my play of the day yesterday. Needed 5 runs. I believe they got 17, which was phenomenal. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. Much needed and love that. But at the end of the night, one of the plays in the 5-pack, which I actually doubled down on, was the San Diego Padres team total in the first 5 innings, plus 1.5 runs. It was a little bit juicy, minus 130. I didn't want to mess around with that Dodgers bullpen, and I'm glad I didn't. In the first inning, You get 2 home runs, you cover that. Like, oh, this is really nice because I doubled down. And again, me not being a very good bettor in Major League Baseball, a deficiency I have is picking like a dog play that works out. So I'm like, all right, I think this is a good shot with Paddock over the first 5 innings. I don't want to mess with the Dodgers bullpen. Let me go first 5 innings plus 120, see what I can do. So I see him get up 2-0. I check off. I already have in my pocket the winner for the 1.5 team total. But I'm saying to myself, now we can double down with a nice plus money number at plus 120 and see if we can at least, hey, worst case scenario, maybe a push. The lead was gone by the end of the first inning. And the Dodgers end up winning that game comfortably again. It's I don't know how you get time off from that lineup. Honest to goodness, man. Like, what happens? It's just a grind. And again, you don't even get the break anymore when you face the Dodgers as a National League team where the pitcher comes up. Or in a close game, you could knock the pitcher out. It doesn't happen. As long as that pitcher wants to go for the Los Angeles Dodgers, he can go. And oh, yeah, one of the best bullpens in baseball behind it. So you have an incredible 1 through 9, an incredible bench that you can go to with any pinch hitter you want or give a guy a day off. A great starting pitching staff, talented at the most, and then a really good bullpen as well. But we all knew that. When you came into the season, you were hoping maybe those Padres could possibly, get in and maybe challenge them, which they are. Look, it's not a runaway yet. They're still neck and neck at the top of the division. But there's a reason why they're like minus 500 to win the NL West. They're really that good. And the other teams around them aren't playing too bad. Arizona, even San Francisco pulling at least their weight from what we see. But those Dodgers that like Mookie Betts 3 home runs, that's what you get out of that. And they haven't signed long-term, couple $100 million. The only thing that I sort of, and again, this is coming from a place where I live in the city or just outside the city of Philadelphia. We're a top 5 market. So we can afford to get the $300 million players like Bryce Harper. I feel bad for those other organizations because if there was a tight salary cap, like teams like the Tampa Rays and the Kansas City Royals, if you just, and even, St. Louis is not a huge market. But if you have what's taking place from single A ball, rookie ball, instructional ball, all the way up to the major leagues, you can really improve these players. And if there's a salary cap, it's all even on who's in on what. I mean, Kansas City used to be the feeder for the entire Major League Baseball because they couldn't afford anybody. And when everybody got good, they'd left. Now, they did have that lightning strike season. They won the World Series, which was awesome to watch. But then again, they have young talent again, and you see where it goes off. But it's not what it should be. You shouldn't be a Kansas City fan in Major League Baseball and be like, well, maybe once every 20 years we can make a run at this thing if we hit everything correctly. And a lot of the stuff shines brightly on which organizations are smart and which ones aren't. Because when you take a look at the Los Angeles Dodgers in baseball and how they operate, wonderful scouting department, great international scouts, unbelievable coaching from the instructional league all the way up, and a large payroll to deal with where they can buy any player they want to supplement in and out. Therefore, going to get Mookie Betts, case in point. But being a homegrown guy like, Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, Jock Peterson, they have talent coming all the way up and numerous pitchers. Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, coming up through the system. And then I sit back and take a look at my Philadelphia Phillies. And I look at the lineup last night and I go, how is there like 50 rounds in every draft in Major League Baseball? And you look at the team leading off last night. And look, I love Andrew McCutchen. He's an awesome dude. Great dude, funny as hell. Those Pittsburgh Pirates teams with, Polanco, Marte, and, Kutch, they were awesome. Jay Harrison, they were awesome, man. They were so much fun to watch. One of my favorite teams. But again, you're taking a look at Pittsburgh Pirates, 25, 30 years of futility. Now, getting back to the Phillies, and you say, all right, let's just say there's 50 rounds in a draft or however many there are, the thousands of players out there. Each and every year you do that. The Phillies starting lineup last night, Andrew McCutchen leading off. You got him from another team, free agent. Number 2, Gene Segura from another team. Number 3, Bryce Harper from another team, free agent. Number 4, JT Realmuto from another team. Didi Gregorius at 5 from another team. Who else was in that lineup? Neil Walker. I mean, come on, man. Neil Walker's in your lineup from another team. Jay Bruce, free agent from another team. Alex Bohm made his major league debut, homegrown guy, got one game up. Obviously, should be a good player. He drafted him number 3 overall, and he looks the part. Certainly, doubled down the line first at bat, hit a couple balls hard, played decent at third base. And then in your 9 hole, you have Roman Quinn. So basically, if you take Alex Boehm out of the lineup, who's a rookie, you had Roman Quinn in your lineup, and that was it. And you're not even talking about really good players. And then on the mound last night, Jake Arrieta, not homegrown. The only thing homegrown for the Philadelphia Phillies is the bullpen they have, and it's wretched. How can you be a top 5 market out here? Can you imagine if you were a well-run organization and you actually went out and scouted correctly and drafted correctly? The simple fact, when you take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies, nobody is a homegrown talent. You have to pay for all your stuff. So my case in point is, why even invest in anybody? Like the Phillies had the number 1 draft pick a few years ago. Mickey Moniak, is he alive? Did he die? What happened to Mickey Moniak? Number 1 overall. He didn't even get in a sniff. You don't even hear his name talked about anywhere. Is he even a top 100 prospect? And you just drafted him number 1 overall a few years ago. Alec Boehm is already here. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Like outside of Aaron Nola that you got, which how much did you really, correct him because he came from college. So already set in his ways, moved up fast, a great draft pick. And you can call him homegrown. But good Lord, outside of him, what are you doing? Like your pitching staff, again, number 1, Nola, very good pitcher. Number 2, Zach Wheeler from another organization. You had to pay him like $100 million. Number 3, you gave Arrieta like $30 or $20 million a year from another organization. Even Vince Velasquez, who flat out stinks, he came from another organization. Damn it. Austin Marshall, don't even get me started on the Phillies. I was down there last night. In fact, they had 55 plus fans. Were you in the Fandemic crew or the pandemic crew out there in the outfield? It's got to be torture. And I know sometimes I get off on Philadelphia Phillies tangents, but it's rightfully noted. This is a huge payroll team or a large payroll team going up against a $3 organization in the Orioles that lost 108 games last year, and they destroyed the Phillies. You have Tom McCarthy, the worst commentator in Major League Baseball, leading your broadcast, and he's having like a World Series celebration because the young kid that came in the 7th or 8th in his Major League debut, who gave up a home run on his first pitch, a 3-run home run, and then proceeded to give up more runs after that in the following inning when he got his first strikeout. Ha-ha! Strikeout! Number 1 strikeout for this kid. Come on, man. Enough with the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's keep going. I'm going to lose my mind and end up hijacking the show. How about this one? You see this one yesterday in golf? Caddie playing in the sand calls golf for big time. Imagine this. You're playing in the U.S. Amateur. And if anybody's ever watched, it's really cool. Look, they're not big names, obviously, because they're amateurs. A lot of club pros, a lot of college kids that are really good. And there's been some big-time amateur winners. I believe Phil Mickelson back in the 90s was an amateur winner, as well as Tiger Woods won a couple of them. That's how Tiger came on the scene, man, winning these U.S. amateurs. People were just excited to see him get going. Skinny little Tiger out there in his shorts. Fist pump. No muscle yet on the fist pump, but he was still doing it back in the day. But these guys play, 18 holes in match play, not medal play, match play. And you get down to the 18th hole and you're going back and forth and you're tied and your caddy goes in the trap and reaches around in the dirt and costs you the entire match because it's not about a stroke penalty. Like you lose the hole. It's a wrap. You lost 1 up. The other kid wins 1 up against you and you move on. You just slap that guy. And I hate to say it because I understand the spirit of the rule. And, the guy's not a professional caddy and he's a local guy and, getting down. He's probably just trying to help him out. Like there's a lot, sand's blown out here. Hey, the sand's really soft or it's not soft because a lot of it was removed because it was a windy day. Sand was just blowing off the golf course on the side. And for the kid to lose, like if you're the other golfer also, like, can't you just step in and be like, yo, this ain't the way I want to win? Because how many times do you watch, even in the match play tournaments, remember when Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods went head to head and they were coming down the stretch? I thought it was really cool that, both of these guys that when let's just say it's a par, Tiger knocks in his par putt from 6 feet, but Mickelson still has 3 feet. And they're like, dude, pick that up, man. I'm not winning this tournament because you missed a 2-foot putt. And the same thing with amateur golf. Like the kid's not going to argue, or the other guy on the other side who won's not going to argue because the rules are the rules. But it just feels cheated in that spot, man. It just feels cheated. It really does. And it's a shame because I know the other golfer, yes, he liked the win. But at the end of the day, you want to really win it yourself, don't you? Like you don't want a technicality like, boy, we were going toe-to-toe and I got lucky and moved on. It's kind of a shame that it goes down that way. Donnie, me and you owe Big Man an apology on Tiger. No, we don't. Well, because Tiger got lucky in one tournament with the Masters. Come on, man. Guy plays like once a year. He's got the ultimate advantage over every single golfer in history. Everybody's out here grinding week to week to week to week, and he plays one tournament a year. He plays the P. He'll play like all four of the majors and then just say my back hurts. And the thing I love best about Tiger, too, is the ratings are there when he's there. He's still fun to watch and all that stuff, but it's always when he doesn't play well, oh, his back hurts. But when he plays really good, it's never his back. Come on, get out of here. I'm going to take a quick break here, 30 seconds. Sportsbookreview.com, best place in the industry to check out all those line moves at SBRodds.com. I'll be back in 30 seconds. I want to get after this Major League Baseball card and certainly go over it and talk to you guys. And one interesting key in the NFL yesterday that came up, which I thought was hilarious. Be back in 30 seconds. Hey guys, Donnie here with SportsBookReview.com, the single best place on the internet for video and also written sports content. You see me do a lot of videos on our YouTube channel at SBR Sports Picks, bringing you all the latest up-to-date information. And also, if you want to win at sports betting, it's always important to get the best lines possible. So check out SBRodds.com, SportsBookReview.com. I got to bring this up. Thanks again for tuning in. Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. Tomorrow we get after it in Major League Baseball. But Seattle Seahawks defensive back did what? And I got to get this guy. I got to bring up the article to see if I can find it. There we go. All right. And if you guys didn't hear yet, rookie Kima Siverand got cut from the Seattle Seahawks yesterday for trying to sneak a female into the team hotel. Now, you can probably do this and get it away. Remember back in the day, the Cowboys? I mean, look, last time the Cowboys were good, most of you guys in the chat box probably weren't born. But when the Cowboys used to be good, like before we had Social Security in the United States, before we even had like World War I, the Cowboys used to be a decent football team. But, Jimmy Johnson would always say, like, look, different guys got different rules. If a guy trying to make the team as a third-string linebacker in special teams falls asleep in a meeting, I'm cutting him, I'm yelling at him, I'm making an example. But if Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, or Emmitt Smith fall asleep in this meeting, I'm just going to wake them up and like, hey, would you like a cup of coffee to try to stay awake? Is everything okay? So if you're the Seahawks, if Russell Wilson tries to sneak in Sierra, hey, Russ, enjoy your night, man. Just try to get some sleep and do the right things. Seattle Seahawks waived rookie cornerback Kima Siverand earlier this week after he was caught on video trying to sneak a woman into the team's hotel, a source confirmed to ESPN. Pete Carroll's number one football rule is to always protect the team. On Wednesday, he praised the Seahawks veteran leaders for sending the right message to the locker room about the need to be disciplined while preparing for a season amid the coronavirus. Now, look, they didn't really lose much on us. And look, it's a stupid move by the young kid. Siverand was undrafted out of Oklahoma State and got this is how you know how important the guy is to the team, a $2,000 signing bonus from Seattle. That was tied for the third smallest bonus among the Seahawks, 17 undrafted free agents. $2,000. I don't even know what you get out of that. $2,000, tax it. So he got maybe $1,200 of it, like it was a stimulus check. And then shows up and probably got like a per diem per day and they didn't even put the pads on yet. But can you think about like, you're trying to make this team, right? You're trying to somehow show yourself, and that's what you're worried about. And you're not a vested veteran. You're not going in here and I'm a 7-year vet, integral part of the team. You're not DK Metcalf, who, like, we're not going to give up on this guy. You're not Russell Wilson. I don't even know what some of these kids think, but it's amazing. Like, he gets cut. He'll probably never get another chance in the NFL. And he was probably going to be one of the first round of cuts anyway. And also in a time where you don't have preseason games to show out and try to make a spot. You've really got to do your damage in practice. That's all you're worried about is that. Has anybody else had any stuff like that? Because I remember, hey, back in the day, you guys know me, I like to lean on my prowess as being a Division III elite athlete back in the 90s. But we would be in the dorms before school started. Like, whether you lived in the dorms or not, you weren't in the dorm that you were going to have for the, first semester, second semester, whatever. So we would be checked into the dorms for football camp. Let's just say, we usually opened up around on Labor Day a lot of the time, like Labor Day weekend. We'd open up that Saturday. Man, it'd be hot. Sometimes we'd talk about playing games in the middle of the day on a Saturday, like 90-degree heat. Man, that was some good stuff there. But anyway, we would go to camp and we would check in, let's just say, roughly a month before the season started. And we usually would have like 2 weeks of camp. So let's just say if Labor Day weekend was September the 5th, we would check in August 5th, and we would have, my freshman year, we checked in, we had triple practices. We'd have one in the morning. Talk about like bitching and moaning. We'd have one practice in the morning, 8 a.m., whatever it would be, meetings, practice again, afternoon, meetings, and then we would have our special teams practice under the lights, like 8 o'clock when it was cooler, then meetings at night. Like, you want to talk about your best friend was your uncomfortable cot that you tried to put an egg crate over and just stiffening up. I remember walking up the steps sometimes where my legs would just seize up on me, because being a wide receiver, all we did was run. We ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. But as you got old, like, they would check you in, be 10 o'clock. They're not going to do, hey, everybody okay in here? Yeah, we're good. And we would be laying in bed, whatever, running back coach would come in, offensive coordinator, head coach sometime would make the round. As soon as they would leave, my senior year, we were on the first floor. So we would be able to open the window and get out. Now, I had an apartment in town, not too far away from the college campus. So one night, me and my boy, who was a defensive back, we were just ready. We're like, we're getting out of here. I'm going to see my girlfriend tonight. It is what it is. Nice, hey, babe, have the lunch meat ready. That we were eating like kings back in the day. Have me, I want some turkey and cheese when I get back to the apartment. So get out, sneak back in. But we did all that dumb stuff. We didn't have a pandemic going on campus either, though. But yeah, go out, see the girlfriend, sneak in before, we had to be out to breakfast. And there wasn't extensive, this is before anybody got back to campus for the fall semester. So there wasn't like, you had to go through the guards at the front gate, but, you didn't have to go in through the actual dormitories where they would know you were out, or a coach might have been snooping around. We just would sneak back in, leave the window open, jump in, get changed, and head on back out to breakfast or whatever it was. So those were good times in college. But look, I wasn't going to risk it. If my coach caught me doing that, man, what are you doing? Use your head, blah, 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 blah. But I wasn't going to get cut over it. Maybe as a freshman, maybe would they call my, but then again, I wouldn't have had a girlfriend off campus in an apartment as a freshman. So yeah, Division III. I was Division III elite, Taylor. That's correct. Always make your choice. Always make your correct choices. But we used to sneak in and sneak out, but I was never going to get cut out of any of those instances there. But keeping it real in college, look, you got to. It's a full-time job. Forget about the Division I athletes that get everything. Full-time job if you're playing divisions, like I'm playing with guys that are working like 30 hours a week, like going to school, playing football, and working 30 hours a week. Yo, who was real down there? We were paying to play football, man. Really real. All right, let's talk some Major League Baseball yesterday. We'll keep it moving here on the telecast. Once again, if you're watching for the first time, welcome into Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by rightwager.com. A lot of videos going to start shooting out as of tomorrow. So you don't want to miss those tips and trends. So hit the subscription button right here on Sports Betting with Donnie. Get them delivered directly to your inbox. If you are watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Periscope or Twitch, I do thank you. Or even on the website going live right now, which I'm watching through here on my monitor on rightwager.com. Let's talk a little bit of Major League Baseball. Just do a quick recap of yesterday and maybe get some sort of planning out for today's Major League Baseball card. Now, I'm seeing yesterday. Now, I guess is this the Nationals and the Orioles are going to have a continuation game of 5-2 starting at 5:05. That's news to me. So just saw that there. Austin Marshall says, yup, played Division III lacrosse at Cabrini. A lot of great competition. Yeah, look, I never would have went to college. I say that all the time, or maybe I wouldn't have been interested unless I was going to play a sport. And so I remember being asked like early in my senior year, and they say, hey, man, do you want to go to college? My head coach, football coach. I was like, yeah, I think I do. He's like, all right, let me help you out. So you get the tapes made, you send them out, and, they're all Division III. I wasn't good enough to go Division II at that time. I mean, look, I was a wide receiver defensive back in a Group 2 conference where I caught like 13 passes my senior year because we were a pro style. But again, it's probably a lot. Probably set the record for my school in school history at the time for catching 12 passes in a season. But I was decent enough and worked hard enough where I made my way through. I actually started all 4 years in college too. So made myself into an athlete at all costs here. But let's get back to this Major League Baseball card. and take a look from yesterday. So it looks like that's weird, a suspended game back. I wasn't aware that was taking place. Mets 8-2 winner over the Nationals yesterday. The Orioles, just lay the wood on the Phillies. I'm really surprised, actually, that the Phillies yesterday didn't get their team total. If that was a game where the Phillies were going to get their team total, that should have been the game. Eshelman is an awful pitcher. He said, well, wait, look at his ERA. It's not bad. And he said, look, when you're not a strikeout pitcher in Major League Baseball at Citizens Bank Park, as you saw from the Orioles all weekend, who put up 11 runs yesterday and 15 hits, it's pretty easy to do. And the fact that JT Realmuto and Bryce Harper, the only guys in the lineup worth anything, and Didi Gruis is actually having a decent season, so I shouldn't knock him down. That's an indictment on the entire organization. They shouldn't have 4 runs versus Eshelman and the Orioles. I actually thought it would have been flipped around 11-4 as a score for the Phillies yesterday, as opposed to what it turned out. That's ridiculous. That should never happen. And then obviously the Rays get 17. Look at it, 17-8, man. That's a high school football score if you've ever seen one. 17-8, 32 hits in the game, 4 errors by the Red Sox defense. Congratulations, Red Sox. 6-13 Red Sox. The Rays improved to 12-8. I had the over 5 in that game. Got 2 right off the bat, was feeling good. This game was over by the 3rd inning for me, and a well-rested break here. So I needed that. Coming off some ridiculous beats on Tuesday and Wednesday, just needed to force a run across the plate, couldn't get it. Finally get one of those where you take that deep breath, can go out and walk the dog and have a cigar early in that game. Pirates 9-6 over the Reds yesterday. That was an interesting game. Capping that game yesterday early in the morning, I said, look, DeSclafani's been really good this year. You have a dead lineup for the Pirates. Williams is that straight line pitcher that I like to try to go fade against. So, and the good thing is I didn't lay the money line, which would have been like -170, -180 on the Reds. I said, let me pick my shot here and go DeSclafani versus Williams, first 5 run line. It was only -120. That was up in flames early. They absolutely destroyed Anthony DeSclafani. I was really surprised by that, to be honest with you. Cubs 4-2 win. Is anybody stopping the Cubs 13-3? And coming into the year, some people down on the Cubs. I don't think the Cubs are going to be that good. Pitching staff's down. They'll be all right at the plate. They're really good. Yu Darvish, another great performance yesterday. Took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. 4-2 win. But you probably had, I didn't check yesterday with the actual, and it might have been 4. It might have been 4. I'm going to assume that the Cubs are probably 4.5 as the team total. But you can never go wrong by continually taking the Cubs on the team total. It's worked out really good. Nair, what's good, buddy? Yes, Taylor 8, Division 3, absolutely. It's Austin Marshall checking. I try to get these things up as many times as I can because being on those 5 platforms, you try to scroll around and see who's saying what. I remember I thought it was the greatest invention on StreamYard. I was like, oh my God, I can see all the comments from all different platforms here. So instead of like me, because I actually moved my keyboard over so I can get closer to the microphone and have a little bit more room with my hands. So I can't really type in because usually in the SBR chat boxes, back in the day, like that's all I used to do. Like, because you'd be on with 2 or 3 people, you'd just be banging the keyboard, knocking it around, getting back to people and say, "Hey, Donnie, what do you think about the Eagles game or the Giants game this weekend?" You'd be able to give your thoughts and analysis by typing while the other person was talking. Can't do that anymore. So, and the Dodgers late last night, 11. So the Dodgers got 11 last night. That's amazing, man. Padres open up 2-0 in that ball game. I'm like, damn, look at this, and they end up getting beat 11-2. Dodgers 13-7, Padres 11-9. Paddock on the mound. Thought he would have a good shot over the first 5. They just shelled him, man. They just absolutely shelled him. That is what it is, man. That team is going to be a really, really good team. Let's set up the Major League Baseball card. We got about 10 minutes left in the show. I'm going to be back after 1 minute. RightWager.com, best place on the internet to get your information betting needs here. Sports Betting with Donnie, presented by RightWager.com. Back in a minute. Hey guys, Donnie here with RightWager.com, your handicapping home on the internet. As you know, we specialize in NFL, Major League Baseball, and NCAA hoops. And as always, we are 100% verified on third-party CapperTech.com. If you are a gambler, this is your place to be. Affordable packages, 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, 6 months, and even up to a year. Also, when you stop by the site, you'll notice sports content right here with the live broadcast home of Sports Betting with Donnie. There is no better place to be in the handicapper community than RightWager.com. And as always, I like to say, what side are you on? Major League Baseball. Who catching because I'm pitching? If anybody knows who actually said that line in what rapper said that line, I'd be pretty impressed by it. But maybe I think some of those guys out there watch or listen to rap music. I think we'll have a decent scenario here. Not going to put the odds up on the board here, so I'm just going to take a look at my screens that I have in front of me. just to go over a couple games I think are interesting here. And also my odds board here, if you check sbrodds.com, I use, Sports Insight, roll it around. Just what feels good to my eye. I like to take a look at, sharp line openings like Pinnacle and Chris. Always look at 5 dimes. I have 5 dimes as an outlet I use. Points, I haven't deposited yet on PointsBet, but I'm probably going to do that over the next day or two. FanDuel, DraftKings, love them. Sugar House, love it. Bet online, I take a look at every once in a while. But I have a local bookie. I'd like to use 5 dimes and also a couple outlets here in New Jersey because I preach it all the time as well. When you're taking a look at some certain sports books and even being a team total guy or just like even a money line guy, you can always get the line you want. Now, having said that, I tried to break it down yesterday on the sportsbookreview.com show. But what I mean by that is if you're taking a look at like a 4.5 as a team total, like one book might have 4.5 plus 105, and you see that. You should already know like some books that you have outlets to are going to probably have 4 like minus 115 or minus 120, or even go the opposite way, like those alt lines. They're going to bump it up to 5 at like plus 120 or something like that. You can get whatever line you want as long as you have outlets. The thing that always hurts is, I can't get 5. I can only get 4.5. There's so many books and legal options turning on daily out there in the United States. You should always be able to find the number you want or try to get close to it or have the option to buy into the number you want. Because when you take a look at 5 dimes offshore, they have great 10-cent lines for baseball, very fair numbers on team totals. But even like the first 5 innings, like if it's like, the total for the first 5 innings is 4, there's usually a box where you can get it to 4.5 or get it to 3.5 the opposite way and pay a little bit of money for it. Always keep those options open because people I don't like to pay the juice or do this. But you're not talking about, again, like in the NBA where you're trying to buy it down from 228 as a total to 227. In baseball, you're talking about over-unders. Like, again, same day every day, 8 to 9.5. Or if you have cores, you're in the double-digit range. But every half run on your team total, every half run on your total really matters. Because as you see, each and every night, teams going 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, really going to dent your wallet overall in that aspect. Yankees, is that what the Yankees are today? I'm out 380. Like, this is what I like about the morning show. Like, I've got that morning cup of coffee just like you guys. Like, I don't really start my day as opposed to I'll look down the list. And this really is, too. Who's going for – I don't have anything for – who's going for Boston here? Let me double check. Ryan Brazier. Oh, that seems like a good matchup today, right? Man, the Yankees, man, they just pour it on. And then you look at the New York Mets coming. I don't know if the Phillies ever going to play a road game again. But it looks like on the odds board, I have undecided as a pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. But I'm looking here. I'm watching on Roto Grinders here. It looks like they estimate it's going to be Spencer Howard today, the young rookie. Sometimes you would like to just take the under when you see Jacob deGrom going against that Phillies lineup. But just getting back into the Phillies bullpen, like the best Phillies bullpen guy, Neil Walker. How about Neil Walker being the best guy out of the bullpen for the Phillies? That's the best option. Isn't that incredible? J.D. Davis. Looks like Nimmo, J.D. Davis, Michael Conforto, Alonso, Dominic Smith, Andres Jimenez, Wilson Ramos, Luis Guillorme, and Billy Hamilton in the 9-hole. And I know yesterday in the first inning, a really nice catch out there. Not Nimmo, J.D. Davis. What am I talking about? Jeff McNeil. Made a great catch, hurt his knee yesterday. It doesn't look like it's going to be serious. So it looks like he'll probably sit out here. But again, looking at the Phillies lineup today, Andrew McCutchen, who's a disgrace. And again, look, it's nothing personal against these guys. Like sometimes I tweet out like, "Hey, Cutchen's a great guy, man. He'll be back." Like it's okay to be a fan, I understand, but don't be a fanboy. Like I love the Philadelphia Phillies. I grew up. That's my squad, and he's an awesome dude, McCutchen. He like one of my favorite baseball players in the past 15 years is Andrew McCutchen. Because of what he used to be, that 5, like he was like Mookie Betts before Mookie Betts, right? That type of athlete. He's not there anymore, coming off from the injury. He's getting paid a lot of money, but you can't lead off and hit 160. And then you have Rhys Hoskins who's sitting like 190 behind him. And then you have Bryce Harper and JT Realmuto going off, but nobody's on base. You saw it last night. Two-run home runs by the Phillies, by JT Realmuto, who knocked in Bryce Harper. Come on, man. These guys out of here. Paid a lot of money, hit 160 and lead off with like 4 RBIs on the season and no home runs. Get out of here, man. Enough with that. But that line doesn't surprise you. Minus 195 for the Mets. Why not? The Mets aren't a great baseball team, but Jacob deGrom might hot butter that team. And you think that it's one of those things where you get Jacob deGrom on the mound, you try to wait the Mets out, right? You try to wait them out. Ooh, deGrom goes 7 innings, 1 earned run. Hopefully you can get to the Mets bullpen. What are the Phillies waiting now? Spencer Howard go 5 innings, and they're going to go bullpen to bullpen against the Mets? And Dylan Betances isn't the greatest reliever in the world, but he was out there for the taking. Joe Girardi knew him. Wouldn't that be nice to have at least Dylan Betances in the back end of your bullpen? Rubber arm Betances who could throw every night. A lot better than what they run out now. Deactivating and activating these tomato cans every night out there. Come on. And it gets so bad that you bring in Neil Walker last night, and he faces, 3 batters, gets 2 of them out, and doesn't give up a run. Neil Walker throwing like 72 is your best reliever. That's embarrassing. Some other game, Trevor Richards on the mound for the Rays versus the Blue Jays, and Tanner Roark. Tanner Roark hasn't had a good season to start so far. Just taking a look at some FanGraphs numbers here on Tanner Roark. 8 innings pitched, so it hasn't gone that long. How many games in is he anyway? So it's 2 games. He said 8 innings through 2 games, striking out 6.75 batters per 9 innings. He's got a nice BABIP, though. Batting average of balls in play at 190. But his ERA is a 5.63. His FIP is a 6.71, and his XFIP is a 5.38. So his 5.63 ERA is about matching up with his XFIP. Maybe get some runs scored in that one. And hey, why not, man? Raise 17 runs. Now, what's the chances? You guys one of those people that believes, hey, look, they got 17. Yeah, Neil Walker has been embarrassing, man. You get 17 runs the night before, and you get stoned the next night by Tanner Roark up there in Buffalo. Ryan Brazier versus Garrett Cole. Let me check Brazier's numbers on the season here. Does he even have any numbers on the season? I'm not seeing anything out of Brazier. So he might be getting his first start here overall. Because of the 32 pitchers eligible today, I'm looking at the starters. I don't see anything for here. Oh, there we go. Brazier. Okay. 5 innings on the season, 9 strikeouts per 9. So he's averaging 1 per inning. But how about his ERA? 7.20 and an XFIP of 4.03. Good Lord, man. Jeez. So maybe you take a look at them Bronx Bombers tonight, huh? Wind looks like it's blowing in, but still get about 80 degrees. LeMahieu, Judge, Hicks, Voit, Torres, Ford, Urshela, Sanchez, and Frazier. But I don't like betting against Garrett Cole overall. And let me check on Garrett Cole's numbers on this season early on. Best XFIP today of an expected starter. That would be who? Clayton Kershaw. 1.94 XFIP this year through 10 innings. Sonny Gray, number 2 at 2.29. You know the tomato cans we're looking to pick on today? And one of them's the Giants. Got a good spot. Here we go. Yeah, but we always wind's always blowing out in San Francisco. Always at AT&T. 72 degrees, which isn't bad. Usually it's really, chilly and cold, but maybe that's could be the day forecast that I'm looking at here. I don't have my, weather edge up here. 72 degrees, wind blowing out. Frankie Montes going up against Johnny Cueto. They should be able to open up. Not exactly a hitter's ballpark, but we're taking a look at Cueto on the year. 18 1/3 innings pitched. 5.40 ERA, a 5.97 XFIP. Balls in play 220. Striking out less than 7 batters per 9. So he might be due to get bombed here. How about Jacob Junis? 9 innings this year, striking out an average of 4 batters per 9 innings. 5.66 XFIP. Good game that Merrill Kelly's on the mound. What's Merrill Kelly been doing this year overall? Let's see if I have any lists on Merrill. There we go. Merrill Kelly, 19 2/3 innings pitched, striking out about 7 per 9. How about this 2.29 ERA from Merrill Kelly, a 3.76 XFIP, so a little bit higher, but not too bad out of his strength. Steven Strasburg going to take them out. I was only throwing 4 innings this year. He's got a 5.07 XFIP. But one of the guys I always like to fade, the Tigers. Let me check to see who the Tigers are going up against tonight. Let's see what we got here. Where you at? There we go. Cleveland Indians and the Detroit Tigers. Savali versus Ivan Nova. And sometimes I want to reach back and take this team again. Like I look at this team with the Indians, and it appeals to me every night because when they face pitchers, they should be able to hit like Ivan Nova. Not a huge strikeout guy. Let's see what Nova's numbers on the year. 4.6 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's pitched 15 2/3 this year. 5.24 XFIP. But you got Cesar Hernandez, switch hitter. Jose Ramirez, switch hitter. Francisco Lindor, switch hitter. Carlos Santana, switch hitter. Franmil Reyes, righty. Mike Freeman, lefty. Naquin, lefty. Sandy Leone, switch hitter, lefty. And Bradley Zimmer, lefty. So you're going to have 8 batters in the lineup from the right side. Ugh. Like they just want to suck me in to take this game because that's, I'm going to be looking at this one. Heavily favored too, minus 200, but they should be able to hit. And they're going to get a full 9 at bats in that game as well. Woodruff and Chatwood going to go head to head today. Chatwood got roughed up a little bit in his last start. Seattle and Houston, the 2 lefties on the man, Framber Valdez and Kikuchi, the lefty, both lefties, I should say. How about that? Minus 220 at PointsBet New Jersey, minus 215 at FanDuel. Heavy favorite for those Houston Astros in this game. But we got good day baseball all the way through today, which I'm excited about. Starting off at 6:37, but then again, I'm seeing the suspended game. I don't know if that's actually true of the suspended game. So I'm just going off a little excerpt here on this stuff. But if it's a suspended game, it'll start quick, and then they'll get to the next game, which is estimated Strasburg versus Malone. Man, they should be able to hit that cat too, man. What's Malone's? Let me check that out real quick. Where we got Maloney at? Tommy, 14 innings pitched. Look at that, 10 strikeouts per 9. So he's doing well. 3.21 ERA, 3.85 xFIP. So not a bad start to the season for Tommy. We'll see if that's able to hold up tonight and be able to carry its way through. But 3 o'clock today, we got a Flyers game on in the afternoon. I'll tell you, I'm in the chat box with a bunch of great guys over at BetWise, and we go back and forth on a lot of stuff and, post your plays and just talk some smack in there. But it's really nice to see like sports in the afternoon, and it won't continue for the future. Once we get back to normal and you get a vaccine and we get this COVID-19 under wraps, those next few sporting seasons will go back to prime time and loaded games and watching NBA games at 10:30 start on the West Coast, which nobody gets to see. And it's a shame because that's the Lakers, that's the Golden State Warriors. Those are the teams, Portland Trail Blazers, we never get to see on the East Coast, or at least we're all in bed by the time Portland actually tips off. But it would be nice to see, just to enjoy this, weekend coming up and the week coming up with all the playoff hockey still in the first round. So you're going to get those matchups in the afternoon. Same thing with the NBA. So I'm really looking forward to stuff like that, and watching the Sixers play for at least 4 games, I guess, against the Celtics, and watching the Flyers go up 1-0 in their series. So a big weekend on deck here. And as I said, also, I'm excited for myself because you get that sweat back going tomorrow. And you really get to get that feel of being back into the game and putting plays out on the website. So I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button on all the channels and all these services that we are streaming live on. But we will be back on Monday. But keep in mind, let's shoot some videos out over this weekend right on the YouTube channel. We're going to win some money here in Major League Baseball. Tomorrow, pick out that winner for our premium play of the day and get after it. This has been, once again, Sports Betting with Donnie. Another great week, Monday through Friday. I'll be back Monday right here on the show at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to have a good weekend, a profitable weekend. Take care, guys.